special meeting, so we didn't have anybody for invocation, but I won't deny, especially since it's the first day of school, we might need one.
I'll pray. Let's bow. God, we just come to you tonight. First of all, just grateful for a first day back in school for Greater Clark. God, we thank you for administrators, for teachers, for students, for parents, for all the staff, bus drivers, everybody that's involved in getting kids in and out of the building. We thank you for a great first day, a safe day. God, we thank you in advance for an incredible year of learning and socializing and hanging out and growing up together. God, I also ask that you be with us in the meeting tonight. Continue to guide us and be with us as we continue to do what we think is best for our community. We love you. We thank you. Amen.
Thank you, JT. We'll have roll call. Bo Bertram.
Here.
Ricky Jackson. Here. BJ Steele.
Here.
Brian Hester.
Here.
JT Cox.
Present.
Let the record show that Mayor Hodges is present, as well as Clerk Treasurer Don Coomer and City Attorney Perry McCall, and I will allow Councilman Jackson to introduce Michael Wilder.
Michael Wilder. He's going to be filling in with Mike Gillenwater for the next 4 or 5 months. Mike has took on a part-time position with his church, and so he had let us know a while back that this was going to happen. So Michael will be here when Mike can't be here. So I passed the information on to Dawn Coomer, and she'll make sure that he gets all the information as needed. And welcome and thank you.
Great.
Welcome, Michael. Thank you for being here. We've all been provided a copy of the agenda. Would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Whoa, that was fast. Who said that? I'm going to go with JT.
I'll second it.
And a second from Brian Hester. You can tell who the teachers were today, who was in the school all day. Any edits or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. I don't believe we have any public comment signed up. My comments are brief, just welcome back to the school year, everyone. Glad to see everybody made it through the first day. Council comments, any comments need to be said?
National Night Out, August 2nd.
Yes.
So everybody you know.
And that's at the Family Activity Center.
Family Activity Center is at 5 to 9 or 5 to 8:30
It
or
is, I don't want to misspeak.
I looked.
August 2nd.
August 1st, or yeah, August 2nd.
August 2nd, I think. Is
No, it's August 1st.
August 1st, okay.
August 1st from 6 to 8.
There we go. Yep. I have a question. The residents over on Harmony are wanting to know where we're at with the drainage issues. They've sent the email and haven't got an answer back yet, and reached out, a couple of them reached out today and just asked me if I would ask where we're at on that.
Certainly, we're waiting on quotes. We had reached out to receive, 3 or 4 quotes on getting the work done, and we received 2 back that were a little higher than what we were anticipating, so we're waiting to see what that third one's going to be before we take action on that. But it's in the process of receiving quotes on getting that fixed.
In the process.
Yeah, they can reach out to me. I've been speaking with John Spencer, and they're one guy that's kind of.
He said he emailed and he didn't get anything back.
Okay.
I'm not labeling Tony. He just said that, so I told him I would ask.
Okay, normally I get back to him. So.
Yeah. Steve, is that his name?
Yeah, Steve Orlinsky.
Yeah. So he's coming by the office today. And that's all I got.
Anybody else? Okay, on to our ordinances and resolutions. The first ordinance, it's a little out of order tonight. There's a reason for that on the ordinance number. I did ask Donna to put the sewer bond ordinance first because Bo Zeller is here, and I thought if we could get rid of an attorney faster and not bill for that, that might be better. And so I did put the sewer bond ahead of the other numbers, although it's out of order numbered. So the sewer bond ordinance is first up. That's 2023 OR 10. This has been passed in several drafts. I do believe Michael Gillenwater has received copies of this. I guess Michael Wilder can confirm.
Yes,
Did
yeah.
you want to make any comments on that for the council or take action on that?
Yeah, so the major change since the last draft is we changed the city cash on hand amount from 5 million down to 3.8. So that's the major change since the last circulation to the other tracks.
So I want to compliment everybody in being a part of this, not only Frost Brown Todd and Baker Tilly, but the council as well, and the clerk treasurer's office for coming to a an effort to compromise on this amount. So the question came up of what's the maximum amount that we could bond? I put that back on the hands of Baker Tilly. Baker Tilly came back and said it's 21-ish. I think that safety is in there, like no, not to exceed 25 to be sure. But they said that, and the IFA confirmed, so Dean Rogers did speak directly to the IFA and said that if we commit substantially to the project, that they would continue to put in their $5 million. And they agreed that that substantial commitment could be 3 in addition to the 8 that you've already done. So hopefully that is a nice compromise for everyone and we can get this moving forward.
Yeah, this ordinance was also reviewed and signed off by IFA's council as well.
Is that, those numbers, are they, that the sewer rate increase we're gonna have? Is that included in that? So if we decide not to do the sewer rate increase, that would affect it?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
So as Dean explained last time he was here, the previously approved 5.8 that would go into effect next year is calculated into this amount. But this, the 3 million contribution, if you make that, no additional new rate increases would have to happen beyond what's already been approved. Any other questions for Bo? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve on first reading.
So moved.
I have a motion by Brian Hester,
Second.
second by BJ Steele. Any additional questions or comments?
I do have another question. Who oversees the project? That will be JTL?
So
The
JTL has,
construction part of it, they will oversee it and,
they have, so the sewer board has previously completed or has approved the design contract with the contingency for negotiation of a rate on the inspection services. That amount has not, that amendment has not been brought back before the sewer board yet for approval.
so the sewer board will approve it, then it'll come to us.
The sewer board will approve that.
Sewer board
It's a
will.
contract for the sewer board.
Okay,
It'd be amendment to the existing contract through the sewer board.
okay.
I believe the contingency for, they did put in a percentage of contingency and that has been considered in this bond ordinance, however. They just haven't brought it back before the board for approval. And that was put out in the original request for qualifications that went out per federal guidelines since we are using federal funds through ARPA and through READY for this project. So all of that was put out.
I knew there was a percent, but I didn't know if we had
It's
finalized
in-
that, and I went back through the meetings and couldn't catch it, so I didn't know if I had missed that. Okay.
It's in the pro forma, if you look at the documents that were emailed out Tuesday, I think Tuesday of last week that I sent to you guys. It's in the pro forma breakdown that Baker Tilly had.
Okay. That was a lot, so.
Other questions?
Just a statement. Somebody reached out to me and said, it sounds like you all are trying to raise the sewer rates because they watched the meeting. Just to make the statement that you, the mayor, nor the city council has ever said we want to raise the sewer rates. Nobody's ever said that.
That's not a goal.
Somebody reached out to me and said they watched the meeting. It sounds like you're all trying to raise sewer. No. It is a statement that nobody, the mayor or the council, are wanting to raise sewer rates at all.
In fact, I find this agreement to be incredibly collaborative between the mayor and the council, all the members of the council, because where we've gone back and forth with ideas of how to fund this,
And still
and
be
through the
this,
investigation, being able to say, okay, instead of the full 4.2 to make it a full 5, we can do 3.8 and have some in contingency left behind in those cash reserves for any kind of emergency that might come up. And I think it's healthy that we have reached potential agreement here once you guys vote and approve this on 2 readings, and that we're doing so without increasing those rates.
Right.
We're all committed to not increasing those rates. Nor is the sewer board.
right,
Because the sewer board doesn't want it either.
this latest, the latest agreement we have makes me feel so much better in case we have any kind of emergency, we have something to fall back on.
I agree.
I know that you believe that we had enough based on our city, but for me, it's just a little bit more extra cushion and I'm much more happy with this.
I think it's a good compromise for,
Yeah, I agree
and it's
100%.
healthy for the city.
Do you
Absolutely.
agree with this? You think this is a good way for us to go?
I do. I think the funding stack that we have put together on this with the amount of grants and special funding that's coming to this project, along with the substantive commitment from the council from those cash reserves, makes this an incredibly competitive nationwide, a competitive stack nationwide for funding a project. And I also think that the fact that we are bonding only $21 million in 2023 dollars, when the last time the city did a significant sewer improvement process, which was around the early 2000s, they still bonded 20 million, and that wasn't even for a brand new plant. I think this is something that all of us should be proud of.
Absolutely.
I think everybody should, it's hard for everybody to realize just by dumb luck that we were able to capture a lot of these grants and funds that other towns around that have done sewer improvements have not been able to get.
Well, let's not call it dumb luck. BJ worked very hard.
No,
Our team worked very hard on putting those packages.
It's the
It's-
great
it's-
time,
it's
perfect
time.
storm.
So if it would have happened 3 years ago, it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
We were, all of us were very, the team at JTL, the team at River Ridge, the redevelopment authority that I've attended all the meetings, we've all been very committed. And I think that it's a testament to people in the region's belief and the state's belief in what is happening here in the city of Charlestown. So it's something we should all be proud about.
Absolutely.
And the residents are gonna benefit from not having a sewer increase if we didn't have all of that.
Absolutely.
So,
And this office stay away from a sewer ban.
Yes, there will be no, we're moving away, we're not gonna have any of those, and it helps us fulfill our agreed order. The new plant is a major step in for fulfilling the agreed order.
Right.
And I think it helps that we passed the sewer rates a couple of years ago, knowing that we needed to do that to get our income where we needed it to sustain our sewer. So it's not, I don't want people to see that their rates are gonna go up in January and we did it for this. We did it in the beginning because it was the right thing to do to sustain our sewer and what we needed to do, so.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll call for the vote, the motion has been made. All in favor of approving 2023 OR 10, the sewer bond ordinance on first reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. So that will come, it's not done yet, you still have a second reading.
No, it's gonna happen, it's just.
Okay, thanks, Bo.
Thanks, Bo.
So this will come up for second reading, just to make sure that everyone has time to process and be comfortable with. This will come up on second and final reading at your meeting on August 7th. Moving on through the agenda, we've got 2023 OR 8. This was tabled at the last meeting. It is the roadblock, the charitable roadblock ordinance. And I did have a question on that. First, we need a motion to put it on the table. Moving on that.
I'd like to make a motion that we table it.
Do you want to table it again?
I,
I think there's too many questions out
there's
there.
way too many questions within this.
Okay.
I've spoke with the American Legion, the VFW, other people that do roadblocks, and I think it's way too vague and broad. And
I think it's not vague and broad enough. I think it's too constrictive.
too constricted.
Okay, so I have a motion to table from Ricky Jackson.
Second.
Second by Brian Hester. Any questions on table? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that's unanimously tabled. I will then leave this up to you
We need to talk more
to
work in.
go through your attorney and,
I'm not saying this doesn't need to be done. I
Yeah,
think there's
absolutely.
things
I just don't know what changes you want at this time.
Absolutely.
So if you will take this ordinance and work with your attorney to bring back the edited version that you want to present, then I'll just put that,
Sure.
and we'll pick that up at your August 7th meeting then, assuming that that's plenty of time for you.
Is it, what, I guess I'm familiar, like, what problem does it solve?
So the reason it came up was the way that the current ordinance that's, as it stands, the way it's worded is that the roadblock, material roadblocks can either be approved by the chief of police or through the mayor's office. It's kind of vague on how, or what process there was to approve that. And so people were coming through the police department, and there wasn't, when you have two different groups that potentially could be reviewing it, it needed to be streamlined in the process. And so Chief Wolf had recommended that we look at that and potentially run that through applications through the Board of Public Works, so they would come through one decision-making body and remove the police from making a decision. Roadblocks are touchy things because there's a potential for danger, standing in the middle of an intersection. It's not something that everybody's really warm and fuzzy about. So we try to restrict it to only a certain number of weekends. So the current iteration of this restricted the number of weekends and the number of hours. I know there was some concern at the last meeting about the hours, and so I had heard that potentially there would be an expansion of when that would happen. But there needs to be some kind of streamlined process, and Mr. Gillenwater at the last meeting in particular said that probably we want to restrict it to Charlestown organizations because else, So the idea is just that it needs to be streamlined process for application so that people know who's approving it and that they do have to get approval in advance so that people just can't go stand at the intersections for safety. So
Absolutely.
I'll let you guys work on that. I just asked that Michael, Mr. Wilder, or whoever's working on this, to keep Perry in the loop so that we know what's coming down the line.
I just included the changes that were mentioned at the last meeting, and Mike had suggested that basically Charlestown and then the hours, and
Yep.
it was all be.
Yeah,
they all
the
changed.
hours aren't great for people who run a nonprofit, they work, so the
Well, we
hours don't
changed
fit
that
in.
though.
Huh?
We changed that. We changed the hours on the new one to make it expanded on the Friday night.
I don't know if it made it
Three
in.
Friday.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying,
So-
people work until 3, don't.
Right.
And
So at this point, I would just recommend that you guys make the edits that you want and bring that back before the next council meeting and get that done. I do know there are some groups that are wanting to do a roadblock soon, so if the 2 weeks between now and then are enough, I know they would like for us to take action on that and get that updated.
I mean, are we fielding like 50 roadblocks?
No, it's not.
That's what
It's
people
usually-
talk about a year.
It's usually, honestly, the American Legion / VFW, they usually do it together. They don't usually do them separate, and they do that for their Christmas baskets. The police do one for Shop with a Cop, and then the fire station does one for Crusade. Those are usually the only ones that we have. I think the issue with the chief of police bringing it to us is like, if another nonprofit wanted to do it, what happens if you have 16 nonprofits suddenly who want to, or 5 even, like if you have every weekend tied up with that, there needs to be some form of approval process, a waiver that has to be signed so that they, absolve the city from any responsibility if something happens, that they're wearing safety equipment and being proper, that it's not just, somebody standing on the corner collecting money.
And that was the other thing, the months, it goes through October, and all 3 of the ones you just announced, they do November and December. So it cuts them out also, the VFW and the Legion.
That wasn't a change from the original ordinance, that was the
No,
original
That was
ordinance.
the original.
What, okay.
That was the original.
So the fire station usually does it in like early summer, late spring.
Right, but the VFW and the, because
They
it says
usually-
here that it can only, the second weekend in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October. The police department, VFW, they all do it in November, December.
I don't know when they do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, that's when they do, so those are the concerns we
Yep.
have, so.
All I'm saying is just edit it the way you want it and we'll get it right through because,
The other thing that was in there that no one mentioned anything was about the city supplying the best
yes.
cones and that type of thing and the expense. and-
Which I would rather us not have to do that, but,
But, I mean, if you've got,
yeah.
how you gotta police that, so the police would have to be out, like, you don't have your vest on, you don't
Right.
have this, so.
Yeah.
6 of half one.
Yeah.
One half dozen the other, so to speak. So I don't know what you wanna do about that. That might be a change to, but those things would have to be presented to the Board of Public Works, that you have your vest, you have your cones, you have your signage, as part of a new ordinance. I don't know. I'll let
Yeah.
whoever wants to decide that, and we can go from there.
Sounds good.
And a couple of the other concerns too was it had to be a nonprofit. I mean, we raised money for the little girl that had the service dog. We raised money for Brody and that would cut them out. So it just, we need to look at it more.
And have them, can the board also look at, I don't know if on that one, I think the one you're looking at, the one I wrote years ago, does that have an age limit on it?
Yes.
18.
That's
Yeah,
what,
18.
okay, that's what caused that one to be written. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so we'll just bring those changes by next time. Moving on, ordinance 2023 OR 11 is an ordinance creating an account for the city of Charlestown Forest Edge Sinking Fund and Forest Edge General Account of Charlestown. This is in anticipation of closing on the Forest Edge property through the redevelopment commission. And it would be a bank account at First Savings Bank where these funds can be deposited. We currently, correct me, Don, we don't have an account there, so this authorizes the creation of that account and deposit of that money.
That's correct.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve 2023 OR 11. I have a motion from BJ Steele. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by JT Cox. Any questions on that?
Why is it called the Forest Edge Sinking Fund?
That is we have to put so much money into, it's called a sinking fund, to make sure that we have, every month we have to put money in there to make sure that we have the money to make the payments, and it's called a sinking fund.
And where does that money come from that we will put in there for this?
That is the $250,000, right, that we are hitting.
Right, so they're paying, as part of the development agreement, they're paying $250,000 for the property. And then there will also be a bond through redevelopment that's been approved previously. And the bond payment, some of these funds are for the reserve that has to go in to make those bond payments. Other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do you need this tonight on second reading?
Yes.
So I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules in anticipation of passing on the second reading.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by BJ Steele,
Second.
seconded by Ruby Jackson. Questions on suspension of the rules? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. So then calling for the second and final reading, having suspended the rules, approving to pass on the first night of 2023 OR 11. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Brian Hester,
Second.
seconded by BJ Steele. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. And then the final ordinance for tonight is 2023 OR 12, an ordinance authorizing the advance payment of certain expenses. This year, the General Assembly for the state of Indiana passed new legislation that allows municipalities and municipal government to pay contractors a deposit for work. It's previously not been allowed. And that's what this ordinance is allowing us to do, to make an advance payment for goods or services or contractors. And there are restrictions on it. There are bonds required, there are certain amounts, it can only be 50% of the entire contract, more than $2 million. This is particularly timely because, for instance, this happens regularly where we need work done and the company doing the work has a policy where they require a 50% deposit so they can order the supplies for the work to be done. An example from a little over a year ago was the splash pad floor, the new surface for the floor. That company wanted a 50% down payment so they could get the flooring and then bring it in and finish the work. But we were able to get them to agree to go ahead and do it without. Currently, it's impacting our playground equipment that's going to be installed at Greenway Park, not the playground equipment, but the fencing. So Silver Creek Fencing was awarded that bid through the Board of Public Works to put up safety fencing around that playground when the play equipment is installed. And they need to be able to order the fencing and have requested a 50% down payment so that can happen timely when the playground equipment gets here and gets installed. So that's an example of why we want to be able to do this ordinance. So I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2023 OR 12 on authorizing the advance payment of certain expenses.
When it says, when it says political subdivision, that means like Board of Public Works, redevelopment?
No, that means unit of government, so City of Charlestown.
Okay, so it's.
So the political subdivisions would be like our county government, City of Charlestown, the different
I
units
don't know
of
if I
government.
meant that are different.
It just authorizes us to be able to do this in the city.
Gotcha, okay.
And a lot of other towns are doing this now, Donna.
Yes.
I'll make
It's
the
a
motion.
good thing.
I have a motion by Brian Hester,
Second.
seconded by Ruby Jackson. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to suspend the rules in anticipation of passing this on the second reading tonight.
Make that motion.
I have a motion by Ruby Jackson,
Second.
seconded by BJ Steele. Any questions on the suspension of the rules? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. So then calling for having suspended the rules, calling for the second and final reading tonight of 2023 OR 12, the ordinance authorizing the advance payment of certain expenses. Entertain motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Brian Hester,
Second.
second by Ruthie Jackson. Final questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that's unanimous. Thank you all. I believe that concludes our business for the evening. We'll meet again on August 7th and pick up that tabled charitable roadblocks and have the second reading on the sewer bond ordinance and the other regular business that comes up between now and then. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I have a motion by J.T. Cox. Is there a second? I've lost my agenda. Seconded by B.J. Steele. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.